Hi, I'm Jason Sterling. I'm a member of the EA Creator Network, and today we're doing gentrification in Myshuno. This is my family, the Reginalds here. Max, Reg, Grant, and Hooper. Max is the kid, Hooper's the toddler, Reg and Grant. The Reg here and Max are my primary Sims. They've lived in Myshuno from the start. Myshuno came with City Living, which is still today one of my favorite expansion packs. I love the city. I love the city vibe. I think it's really, really cool that we get to try to live in the city. As a consequence, I have built and rebuilt the places in this city over and over and over again. And I wanted to try to do something different for this particular series. I wanted to do something I hadn't done before. So my thought became, let's take the type of lot that was unique to City Living, the penthouse lot, and let's do a penthouse starter for a family and a single sim. Single sim is going to be really hard, but for a family, I think we can do it. This is my family here. They've got $26,000. $26,000 is what you start with a family of 4 here in the Sims. Now, right off the bat, there are only 3 penthouse lots in Myshuno. We only have 3 choices. This one, as you can see, we cannot afford this lot. How about over here? Nope, we cannot afford this lot. That leaves this one in the Arts District, which I love the Arts District. That's fine. This works. And it is just for the lot, for the empty lot. Well, it does include the elevator and a mailbox and a garbage chute. Just for that, it is $13,832. Why is it $13,832 instead of, I don't know, an even round number? It's a mystery. I've never actually looked that up. I don't know if there was actually a reason for that or if Max has ever said, but we're going to go with it that it was a mystery, but it's also the only lot that we can afford. And as you can see here, could this be the perfect home? It is the perfect home, and we're going to click purchase this home right now, and off we go. And this is our lot. It is a 20 by 30 lot. It's kind of a 20 by 30 lot. Kind of. It's not really, is it? Why do I say that? It is missing 3 by 6 of its squares over here for some reason. Again, why? Who knows? It's lost in history, but it is almost a 20 by 30 lot. There's plenty of room for us, of course, because we really can't afford that big of a house. We spent everything on the lot, which I'm going to be honest, basically in most urban centers, you're probably going to spend most of your money on a lot, right? I mean, you're going to spend a lot of money on the lot. So this does kind of track, kind of see where it's coming from. I want to do a living room, kitchen area. And then I need a space for a bedroom for Max and Hooper, who will share. And space for a bedroom for Reg and Grant. And the bathroom. And the bathroom and the master bedroom, I definitely want to be private. My thought is that we can make the kids' bedroom semi-private. We could save some money on walls and doorways in that fashion. There's some other tricks we can pull too. But now let's get started. Let's get started with what we've got to work with. Let's see. I'm going to figure 3 squares for a living room. This would be kind of a little entryway. 3 squares for a kitchen. Bring the kitchen across here. And then maybe in and in. Now, let's see. The bathroom, we're going to need, again, 3 squares. I do most of the cheap bathrooms, like the small bathrooms, as a 2 by 3 sort of box, right? Just like that. A 3 by 3 box would work pretty well for the kids. I'm going to go ahead and draw out a 3 by 3 box. And then all we really need for the adults is a 4 by 4 box, because we just need room for their bed. Now, that doesn't leave any room for a dresser or a closet. And I don't know if we're going to be able to afford a dresser or a closet anyway. So we'll see how that goes. We'll kind of tackle that when we get there. I'm going to go ahead and frame this in. Okay, so we got that. We need to frame in this little hallway. And then we are going to go ahead right off the bat. Let's take out a few of these walls. This will be kind of the kids' space, which I think should be enough space. I think we can do like a bunk bed. We'll do a bunk bed. We'll do the kids' bunk here, the child, and we'll do a little toddler bed here. And that will leave us a very little play space, maybe for a computer or something like that in this area. Let's go ahead and we'll throw in some light fixtures. This, as well as being a base game only build, we're also going to only use base game and city living assets. So we're not going to use all of the packs, which would make it easier, at least as far as it looking aesthetically pleasing. But let's not make it easy. Let's say we're building this with what we've got to work with from, hit the wrong button there, from the start. Just the base game and city living, as though we're kind of building this, right, like Maxis would build it. It's got really tall ceilings. We are going to bring the ceilings down, I think. I mean, it doesn't really matter because the ceilings don't cost us anything, but I don't want it to stick out too much on top of the building. I don't want it to look too out of place. So I'm going to go with the sort of shorter wall. I've done a large penthouse structure on this before, and I usually do the shorter wall. It just seems to have that sort of profile. This building looks like it has a very low ceiling type of profile. Okay, so there we go. We've got that. Now we're going to put in, we're down to $8,000, and I don't want to spend everything. $8,800, I should say. I don't want to spend everything. I do want to maintain a certain amount of money for the family to start with. I usually try to maintain $3,000 for a family to start with. In this case, I think I'm gonna kind of aim for maybe, this is cheap. We'll use this. We'll call it a brutalist build. I think I'm going to aim maybe for 2,000. So I think so. Let's throw this stuff on here. I think I'm going to need a little more space too. Because this is going to be our front yard, I think. Front yard. So let's move this over. I think it has the best view, is the reason why I say that. You know, looking down over the Arts District, kind of the plaza. I think it kind of has the best view. So we'll have this yard and this yard. And this yard, of course, looks over to the Uptown District, Fashion District. Again, a really good view. So it may be small, maybe inexpensive, but we are going to have like at least a really cool view, right? We're going to find let's see here, sliding glass door. We use a nice sliding glass door here. Now, one thing that's going to save us a lot of money, and this is one of the great things about a recent update, is we do have these sort of windows, right? We have these paneled glass walls. They're only $2 a panel, and they already have this sort of built-in look, you know, like a window. So instead of doing windows, we're going to put in these paneled glass panels, kind of like this. We'll do 3 here, do 2 here, here. I don't know about using those in the kitchen. We'll see, maybe. And we'll do 1 in the bathroom. So that's going to save us some money there as well. Speaking of kitchen, let's go ahead and just put our kitchen in, because we're going to really have to watch what we're spending. We've got these, the classic, right? The classic Blanco, $150, and we've got these for $235. I'm going to stick with the $150 simply because, as much as I hate them, as much as I detest these cabinets, these cabinets right here, like that one, maybe where's another one here? That looks remarkably like the cabinets I had in my very first apartment. So it's not like I haven't lived with those before. But this is the dream. I'm living the dream here in The Sims. So I hate for my Sims to have to deal with that, but I think they're going to. So we're going to do 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. We'll do 3 cabinets, and let's find a stove. I want to get some of these big ticket items out of the way. Let's get this stuff that's going to cost us a lot of money out of the way. I'm also going to go with a really cheap stove. I hate to do that. I really do. At the end, if we have money left at the end, I'm going to come back and we'll change a little bit of this to give ourselves a nicer experience in our penthouse. Right now, what we're holding on to is we're in a penthouse, right? We're in a penthouse in San Myshuno. Not everybody gets to live that way. We're super, 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 super lucky. Now we're going to grab some living room furniture. Again, we've got 4 people here, so I'm going to just grab 4 or like 2 love seats, I think. Let's see. City living. City living is going to be way too expensive. Well, I don't know. That's not that expensive. Let me pull that real quick. I was thinking everything's really expensive. I don't really like that, and that's more than I want to spend. But we've got our usual base game sort of stuff, right? Like this, right? The Epiphany. We've got this, which is even cheaper. I really don't like this. This does not look like real furniture to me. That looks like Barbie dollhouse furniture, like just a big old hard chunk of plastic. That does not mean I will never use it. I do use it sometimes when I'm really strapped for cash. And in fact, we are kind of strapped for cash. This is $275. This is $300. And this is $180. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go with this because I was just thinking once we get to the single version, not even the family version of this, I'm going to have to use this love seat. So let's just start now. We'll just start now. So we've got our some furniture in. We've got this. Let's grab a dining room table. I'm going to go ahead and just put regular chairs around our dining room table because we do have a toddler, and technically he does need a toddler chair or a high chair. But I think I'm gonna set it up like somebody could use it for 2 children. Mostly, I think so. I'm not sure though because I don't know about the bed situation. We'll have to see. Maybe I can do that. I can probably make that work. Yeah, I can probably make that work. Okay. We'll see when we get there. So we'll do a table and we'll set it up. How much are these? 80 and 30 and 40. Do we have another red one? Does this come in red? Comes in blue. We could do blue. I don't know. Are these the appliances that come in red? No. No, they don't. They do come in black, though. I'm going to change these to black just to kind of pump up the feel of it a little bit more, to make it feel a little more upscale. I really want to put in, like always, I'm going to move this here, too. In fact, I might move this here. Can I move it there? Is that too close? No, because we can move this down here. So when you enter, you're going to kind of enter into the dining area. I want to put in, like always, a place to study, a computer. We'll go with what's cheapest. We got $245. We got $265. Both of these are cheaper than using a desk. How much is the... Oh, God, I can't believe I'm about to do this. How much are the kitchen cabinets? Somehow we're going to have to dress this up. But it's only $150. Let's see. I think I'm going to put that there. How far does it stick in there? We'll see. Maybe. I kind of like the way it kind of sticks out like this, a little bit of an angle, gives it a little bit of an architectural interest there. Let's move this back over here and we'll put this here. Now, I'm going to need, the bad thing is I'm going to need a bar stool, but I think we can get a bar stool for $30. And how much is this again? $40. So yeah, this is only $30. So let's go with a nice blue color to kind of complement what we already have. Here. I'm going to try it here and then I'm going to hope that Sims will actually use it. We could move that like that. No, that's a danger zone. Let's put it back. Even that's kind of a danger zone. You know how many times they're going to hit themselves going around that, but oh well, we're just going to have to do it because we cannot afford anything else. Let's grab the cheapest computer we can get. We'll put that there. I also want to get some books. Now, normally I use this bookshelf, and I do still like this bookshelf. I'm going to put it there for now. If we get really tight on money, we do have this option, and we have this. This is a little bit cheaper because this is $175. Okay, so this is $120, and I actually like that better. Actually, can I put it here? I think we're going to do it like that. We're going to take this off. We're going to save ourselves a little bit of money that way because I do like that this has a really cute look. Let's go with red. Does it come in red? Yeah, let's go with the sort of red. Kind of clashes a little bit, though. What other colors do we have? Maybe orange? Let's do orange. We'll do a lot of primary colors. Maybe kind of make the place kind of fun. A little bit modern, a little bit funky. What do we got here with these? Is there anything that this comes in? Not really. I think there's a purple, right? Yeah. Like really purple, like almost bordello purple. So I'm thinking, no. We'll leave it at gray. Now for the kids, I need to put in their bed, the bathroom, and the master bedroom. Let's do the master bedroom first. There is, of course, the great bed that comes with, I love this because it's $290, but it's also uncomfortable. So we're going to have to pay the extra money. We're going to have to pay the extra money to Maxis. $560 for a bed. That's fine. We'll put it in here. We're going to go with a little bit of a plainer looking style. We'll go with that. Now we need our kids' beds. I do want to use a bunk bed, and this is the cheapest thing out there. So we're going to go with that. And then it come in green. The green's really pretty. The green is really pretty, and I do love, the color of the wood on this. So that works very, very well. Now I'm thinking of this particular toddler bed. The only other thing would maybe be this. If we're going to do two kids, set up for two kids. How much is this? $330? $240. I mean, $330 is a little bit more real, a little bit more fair, right? Because if I'm going to set up an apartment for a family, I should probably count on two children instead of just, I could cheat a little bit and be like, well, a toddler is a child. So I could go that route, but I'm going to take this out. I'm going to leave this piece here, and then we can put some sort of activity center here, maybe. Can we do that? What we could do, because I'm afraid if I do it this other way, and I put the activity center here, they're not going to be able to climb up the bed. And I do want to give the kids and the adults something to do. The adults have that computer and books to read. So let's try to give the kids a little something here. Where's our activities? Yeah, something like this, like little junior wizard play set. But I just don't think we'll play test it. I'm going to play test it, but I don't think they're going to climb up that. I'm going to move this all the way against the wall. One thing I could do is I could take the wall down and move it even closer to the sofa and save myself, $60 for the wall. Oh, you know what? Speaking of walls, I do need a wall here. I need a wall right here. I'm going to need a couple of doors. Let's get those doors in there before we run out of money. We're doing pretty well. We still have $2,100 right now, and then I would still have $2,000 left for the family to start on. So actually, that's really not bad. That is really not bad. We're going to grab a couple of just plain white doors here. Very, very good. Now, we need flooring. Now, one of the great things about the base game is that there is some flooring here that is free. And it is it this one? Yes, construction quality concrete. But we're not considering it construction quality. We're considering it like stained concrete, right? We're considering it that we're very with the times. Everyone's doing stained concrete right now. It's impervious. It's impervious to damage. Drop a bowling ball on it and it's fine. You're going to be good. So we're going to do that. We're going to take some stained concrete. And I'm thinking maybe I should do the kids area different. I could do the kids area with green to kind of set it apart. I don't know. That's a lot of green. I think I'm going to just stick with orange. I think I will stick with orange. We're getting a lot of color in this place, but I don't know that that's a bad thing. But I don't know. I got to be careful. I don't want to look like the crayon house. I do want it to look somewhat serious. Now, what other sort of concrete do we have here for $0? Let me see. Stone. Is that where it was? No. Masonry. So we've got like some yellow. We've got this nice tan. That works pretty good in there. I mean, it's a bit like the bed itself is a nice sort of tan. So, you know, the wood has that blonde wood. So yeah, maybe that would work just fine. Now, one thing we are going to do, I'm going to take this concrete and we're going to map out a little bit of a yard, kind of, right? We're going to put a little bit of a yard here and we're going to run it back here. And then maybe like right here as well. And one thing I had been thinking of was putting a door to the outside from the parents' room. I don't think I can afford it, but like I would put that bed there and then maybe this down here. So we're going to do that for now. And then if I get really strapped for cash, then we can undo it. Okay, and what we're going to use outside is unbent smoothness, but on the inside, I'd like to go with something a little bit nicer. We could probably stick with unbent smoothness, right? If I can find something I like color-wise, and I'm not sure about that. I mean, it's cheap. It is so cheap. It's so tempting because it's so cheap. I mean, why does paint have to be so expensive? This paint is not expensive, but usually with paint, I just like white, right? Like this Pure Expressions. And there's so much color in this house that it would be a little, I don't know if I want to get too much color on the walls, but I don't want to have too much competition. That's why the white might be a good background to use against all this color. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Okay, now the last big ticket item we need to worry about here is, of course, the bathroom. In fact, I think real quick, let's grab something for the floors here. I do need to get something on the walls, but I decided to wait just a little bit and let's tackle the bathroom and see how much money I have left afterwards. Now, since I do have a toddler, I'm kind of back and forth whether I should just do a shower or a tub. In reality, though, this tub is like the cheapest thing I think we can do. Is that right? With, of course, the exception of this, but this is just useless. And again, it's uncomfortable, so we're not going to go with that. Oh, this is uncomfortable too? Oh my gosh. And that's uncomfortable? Well, what is it? How can you have an uncomfortable tub? All tubs are comfortable. Okay, so the first time we get an actual comfortable tub is at $555, which is $200 more than this one. Now, we've got still about $2,000 left that we can spend, but I would love to be able to maybe throw in a couple of more activity type things, and I would love to maybe upgrade some of the either furniture or the cabinetry here. I don't know. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look. We've got a shower. The shower is $375. It does provide discomfort relief, although, you know, toddlers won't use it or can't use it. So that means we would be stuck either only having children here, which right now I don't have a toddler bed or a high chair, so maybe that's okay. So we're stuck with either only having children here, or we'll have to constantly sponge bath the toddler. You know, you throw it up in the air and spin it around, and it gets all soapy and falls back down, and voila, he's clean, right? He's clean. We'll have to do that. So that is kind of where it stands. I'm going to grab this sink and put it over here. Now, that's our bathroom outfitted. We only have, see, bathrooms cost a fortune. A fortune. We just spent like $1,000 or $900. just on that. We have about $1,000 left. Oh my God, that's not very much money. I really got to get paint on the interior walls. And I am going to go ahead and just do white paint. I'm going to just keep it simple like that. I think, at least as of right now, I can always go back and grab some of that $2 kind of concrete looking, brutalist looking stuff. We definitely can do that. And I might. We'll see. If we need the money, if I feel like I really need the money to kind of pull off my goal here of having $2,000 left for my family once they move in, then that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. We'll figure that out. Okay, now one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and move these love seats again. We're going to move them down just a little bit more, and I want to put a toy box here at the end of the sofa. That'll give our kids one more thing to do. And somebody's kind of put some toys, especially for the toddler. So if I do end up with a toddler in here, or someone else puts a toddler in here, they'll be able to put a little box there, for them to play with. Let's put something, we'll do a blue one, kind of keep the theme going. I'm going to grab one more puck light here. We'll move this closer to the kitchen. I'm going to put this here kind of over the living room. There, that's going to brighten things up a little bit there. The hallway is really, really dark. And I probably should put one in the hallway. Again, that's the sort of thing. If I end up running out of money, then I'm going to just pull it out, right? It's only $50, but $50 is a pizza, right? That could feed my Sims the first nights they get in here. And, they're going to be starving. They have no money. They have no jobs. They're going to get paid for like 3 days. So we'll see how it goes. Let's grab, there it is. We're going to put the garbage chute here. We're going to put the mailbox here. And then for the adults and kind of for the kids too, for the whole family, we'll put in a little bit of music, right? Here's the thing, of course, it does not make any sense. This is $200, the exact same thing as $120. But we don't have get together, right? This is just city living. So we're stuck paying for the $200 item. I guess we do have this. But I'm going to go ahead and go with the wall-mounted one. Keep it up off the floor, make it a little bit smaller. A little more high-tech looking, a little more 21st century. That looks pretty big, right? It's kind of like a 1970s sort of speaker stuck on the wall. Maybe the 80s. Okay, now we've got everything pretty much in place. Everything we need for an apartment is ready to go. We're going to start dressing it up a little bit. I still have $400 of disposable income to spend, and technically I could spend more than that. That's in order to have $2,000 left at the end, so that if someone were to move in here and they're like, well, I really wish I had an art easel. I've used that example before, or something like that. I really wish I had the gem crafting table. I want my sim to be the, king of the jewelry markets of San Myshuno. That gives them that playroom to kind of get their sim started on an at-home business or something of that nature, and to feed themselves and take care of things. Maybe they want a pet, right? Maybe they want a pet. Maybe they're coming with a pet. Of course, a pet would bring more money with them, but still, that leaves a little bit of money for them to buy things for a pet, right? Maybe they get the pet after they move in. And in that case, I don't think you do get any money. So like if you get the pet after you start your family, after you're living here, you get nothing. Now, in order to dress this up, we do not have a lot of money. We don't have the money for any sort of like moldings on the outside, but one thing we can do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab these elevated platforms. We'll pull it across here. We're going to pull it all the way down. Create a really deep overhang for the bottom here by the bedroom. And then we're going to raise it up one more. So we're going to make it double height, because I want to do the same thing basically here above the doorways. We're going to create a sort of overhanging roof line. And we'll put that back here on the back as well. Do the same thing. Pull it across. And then I think we'll bring this all the way down. Is that going to mess everything up? Let's see here. It did kind of mess everything up, but that's okay. We'll grab this and we'll bring it across like that. And we don't have to bring it across like that. We could leave it sunken down. No, I don't think we will. Now, the great thing about using those platforms is now we have access to these platform trims. They're free of charge. They're going to give us the ability to place something that at least looks a little bit like an exterior detail. So we can put this on here. We can do it in a different color. We could grab some green. Is there a blue? I don't think we have a blue. We have kind of an orange, orangey wood. And we don't have to use the same one. So we can grab red here for this big middle part. And then for these overhangs like this, let's see if we have... We've got a blue tile. We've got a gray. And a green. Let's see here. Green like that. Blue like that. Let's go with blue. Blue looks pretty good. Nice blue detail, nice blue touch to the exterior of the house. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a roof on this. We'll grab a pretty simple roof. We're going to do this here. Let's find our midpoint. We're going to bring it down pretty low. We're going to take it out like this. And we're going to just kind of exaggerate it outwards. And I think I'm going to go ahead and actually pull it all the way out here to create a sort of patio, sort of cantilevered sort of roof line to create a patio out here, sort of shaded area the family can hang out. And then we'll copy it and we'll swing it around. Okay, and then that's giving us kind of our dramatic roof line, right? Very dramatic look here for San Myshuno. We're going to need something. I guess we can still use the unbent smoothness. I don't know. We could use unbent smoothness. We could try to grab something that has a little more color to it. In fact, we could, let's see here. I'll get to work. City living, base game. We could just grab something like this, like a basic dark. Do we have a green? Isn't there like, I think it's here. Every shade has a great green, but how much is that? Is that free? Is it free for us to use that? It is free for us to use that. So we can use anything on this since it is the roof color, right? We're going to go with the green for now. Keep our kind of theme of colors going here. I'm going to bring this roof down, I think, just a little bit more or a lot more, kind of like that. Give it a very low profile. Very much sweeping across our penthouse here. Okay. The other thing we can do is we can also grab roof trim. Roof trim is also free of charge. So we've got a wide variety of colors. We've got a nice blue. Could go with the blue here. That doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's a lot of color for the outside of this, but it does tie in nicely, you know, with this blue here. We've pretty much lost the green. When I shrunk the roof down, that really lost the green for us, and that is just fine. We're not going to worry about that. Let's see here. That looks pretty good. We could go with also a different sort of, you know, roofing tile. This is a skyscraper, so we could maybe do, you know, a metallic roof like this. That looks pretty good. I like that. A lot of color. Again, we are in the arts district. I'm going to use that as my excuse. If we had more money, I'd outline the bottom of this with some sort of molding, but we don't have that much money. So, but you know, I do think it will look better with a little bit of molding there, but we don't got that much money. So we're not going to do it. What we are going to do is we're going to look in debug. The debug menu is going to give us our landscaping assets. And we'll also look and see if there is anything that might work for decor, that might work as a wall hanging or a piece of art. City living might have something in that range. We're going to look at City Living's debug menu first. We'll take the base game off so we don't have so much to look through at once. Debug can be, kind of overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff here. Not everything in debug is free. Like this, for instance, costs a lot, right? It costs $1,400. Okay, so right off the bat, I would say something like this. This is not bad. We could throw in a couple of trees here. Again, free of charge. Bring this, let's put this here. Maybe put this one here. Now, the bad thing about the debug trees, I don't know. We'll see when it gets here. They may not change with the seasons, right? But I don't know that I really care about that because that's fine. I don't care if they change with the season. Some plants don't, even when they're in the landscaping menu. But I do feel like that could be one of the reasons why these are in debug. They're not fully programmed. And it could just be that, I don't know. Maybe they don't move in the wind or something like that. Now, as far as decor, we've got stuff like this that could be used as a way of decorating the wall, right? So, the bad thing is, though, for looking at this one, it's obviously too tall. We could make it smaller. Could bring it down like this. We could kind of arrange it a little bit like that. Maybe bring it over here. I don't know. It's awfully big, isn't it? But you know what? Let me try making it smaller. I mean, that's not too bad, actually. And if we raise it up like this, that's actually going to give us a pretty good looking kind of picture. For the wall, I'm going to center it, I think, a little bit more behind this love seat. Yeah, that's really not too bad looking. That's a pretty good look, I think, going on there. Free of charge, absolutely costs us nothing. So we'll go with that, and then we'll look here and see if there is anything else. Now, we do have stuff like this. This might be kind of cool to place because we do have these trees growing out of the roof, but we could put this. Does this come in a different color? No. Okay, so we could put these here to give the impression that they do have a base. Can we make it bigger? Yeah, we could even make it bigger like that. That's really pretty big. Although it makes sense because the tree is so big that you'd want enough space for the roots. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep it that size. But by the time I'm done, it might change and it might go back smaller. We'll see. We've got these columns. I don't know if these columns, I don't know. I mean, we could use them kind of like right here. But I'm not super in love with them. They're not my favorite. I think the good thing about those columns is that they don't disappear when you're in live mode. But I can't remember. There is a column for sure that does not disappear in live mode, and it is in the vampires debug menu. I'm going to go ahead and leave those there. I'm going to see if they grow on me. I'm going to see if it turns into something that I'm like, yeah, that's not too bad. That works okay. Will this make ground cover? No. How about this one? Oh, that's not too bad. So that actually acts maybe as a little bit of ground cover there. We'll do 2 of those in there. Okay, and now that is placed, we've got that there. There is a palm tree here. I don't think I'm going to use it. I know I'm not going to use it really. I could come back to it later, but it's just not on my radar for that. I don't really want to use that. Let's see what else we've got going on up here. One thing we could do, I just saw an elevator there in debug and it kind of hit me. We could go ahead and change the elevator. So I think these come in different colors, right? So we could look and see if there's something here that we like better. And in fact, let's go ahead and get rid of this elevator because every elevator is the same price. Oh, shit, I don't want to do it yet though. I'll have to do it after I get done with debug because I don't want to come back to debug. So we're going to finish off debug here real quick. And then I'm going to grab an elevator that's nice, got a nice look to it. Here's one right here. Does this have options? It's not, that's not really it. Yeah, I don't want anything that looks old, and that looks old and beat up. So I think that's the one we had. What's this, by the way? Not too bad. Wouldn't really need it. Maybe later. Maybe. You know what? Maybe. I don't know. Here's the thing. It could act as a sort of like, to give the impression that, hey, we got a place for the water to drain up here. So I'll go ahead and I'll put it in place and then we'll see. Will I keep it? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. And then we pretty much have gotten into just the regular menu. So of assets, of items. So we're going to just let it go from here. We've got $0 left. Oh my God. How do we have $0 left? What did I spend money on? Did this cost something? No. Did this? No. I know the tree didn't. How about that? No, because it's like I've lost $400, right? All of this says zero. All of this says zero. So what did I spend? It wasn't this. Nope, wasn't that. What did I spend $400 on? I'm going to find out real quick what this game charged me $400 for. Let me move this stuff around real quick and we'll see what it was. Okay, so I rolled everything back until the money came back. Turns out what it was this. So even though this comes up under roofing, I guess if we put it on that, which it's reading as a floor, then it costs us money, right? So, and like almost $400 of money. What did we just lose there? That. How did we lose that? Didn't even know we had that. Oh, yeah. No, I do. That was right there, right? So, I've got to find something else. I guess, this concrete stuff that costs nothing. We'll just grab that and we'll go with an orange here. And that will be good enough. I guess we could go with a blue. I don't know. A blue or a red? Do we have a red? Not really. We don't really have a deep blue either. I'm going to just leave it as orange. Orange is fine. We're going to leave it as orange. And then we got $300 back. It's still not, that's not everything that floor cost, though. Okay, that's the thing. That floor was $386. And that's what I like about The Sims. I guess the floor is already depreciated by the time, I haven't even left build mode yet. So I don't know if I should put that money back. I should be like at $23.91, right? I'm going to too. Because I don't want, I don't want to like lose money because I just changed my mind building there. Like I said, I should have done that. I don't think I should do that. I don't know why I did. I'm going to grab this. We'll put it over here. Put this over here. Like so. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at our elevator options here. These are our options. I think we want this one, right? The sleek elevator. Yeah, something like that. It gives us a little bit of an art look to it. See, very nice, very slick, very sleek. Or we could go with, let's see what else we got. Got that. We've got, that's very cool. Love that. I use that a lot. Oh, we've got that. That's nice. That's very cool. Like that look. I think we're going to go with this. I think we're going to go with that. Something a little bit crazy, a little bit daring. Now then, we're going to look in the debug menu of base game. We're going to check out our base game debug menu. Let me sort everything again here by base game. Type in debug and see what we end up with. I don't know how much of it I actually really want to use. However, stuff like this, definitely, that's a kind of use item, right? We can throw in some bushes here. Dress up our lot a little bit. I don't know if I want them there, though. Let's see here. We need them someplace that it looks like, like they kind of belong. Something like that, maybe. We'll frame in our little bit of kind of our little patio area there. There's also something here in debug that I specifically am looking for. I've used it numerous times, and we're going to use it today. There it is. We're going to use this as our fence. Now, it takes forever to place all these, right? Because you can't auto place them. You can't hold down shift and automatically place it. And they don't replicate automatically. You have to go with each one and move it individually from here over. But I love the greenery. I love the way it looks. It's got a very, very, very cool look. And it definitely upmarkets the little yard we're building for ourselves here. I think it gives a much more pleasing feel to our yard. We're going to go ahead and we're going to move our drain over here. Okay, I found these little bushes here as part of our scrolling through debug. Let's get them into place. And as you can see here, I did outline our little yard. It's came along pretty nicely, not too bad. We've got a door here from the master bedroom and a door here from the main house. I would like to put some sort of furniture out here, and I do have $391 left to work with if I don't upgrade anything on the interior of the house. And I don't think I will upgrade anything. I think I'll continue scrolling through here, which I'm almost out of stuff to kind of look at in here. I mean, there's always some cool stuff. Like we have this. There's a lot of landscaping and debug for the base game, right? Like in theory, we could go and put like bushes all along here like this as well, kind of double up on that look, you know, that landscaping look. But I want to keep it a little bit see-through. This is a penthouse. We have a really great view. So I don't want to necessarily encase it in a wall, you know, of landscaping, of vegetation. We have these one version, this one sort of lone, what do they call it? A flower arrangement in progress, but it does make a really nice, just sort of like arrangement for the house, right? So we can go ahead and we'll make this a little bit larger. We'll put one there at the end of that sofa. I guess we could put them in the master bedroom. The master bedroom does not have a lot of decor. We can't afford a lot of decor, but we could put in a couple of these instead of end tables, since we don't have any end tables. That is one thing I could look at, is maybe putting in some sort of dresser. Oh, you know what I do need? Almost forgot. I am going to need some sort of mirror over the sink, just for like skill building and stuff like that. We also have a few things like this, which are these sort of little bottles. Now, I feel like I've used these before, and then the Sims just kind of come along and clean it all up. But we might go ahead and we'll put like, you know, just something here to give a little bit of a look. And we'll see what they do. Maybe they'll clean it up. Maybe they'll leave it alone. I kind of just want it right here. Okay, let's just put it there. Let's put it right there. Hopefully they'll be able to still cook there without any trouble. I hope so. We're going to adjust this bush, this debug bush, just a little bit. So I think I'm going to go ahead and run it just all the way from the door. So we'll go from this base here, down here. Still kind of wall that area in. Now, even though I would like to put some sort of furniture out here, I don't know that we really need to. We don't have very much money yet, and it's not really, I mean, as a player, I could go in here and just grab this and move it out here if I want my family to eat outside, right? I mean, that would be the sort of thing that we could do in game, and that's what we might do in real life. You know, if we're new, we're just starting out here, so we don't have a lot of money. So when we want to eat outside, we just bring this little table and the chairs outside. So I'm a little bit torn about whether or not to do that. Now, what I'd far rather do is to find some sort of activity that the Sims can do that is not going to, you know, wreck the budget. That's going to keep us at least close to the $300 mark. We could look at some exercise. We've got these creative sort of outlets. One thing I have forgotten about, because I always think about this as being a get-together asset. This is base game now. We could do something like this outside. It's not exactly the color I want, but it does fit under the roof overhang. And does it come in white? It does come in white. So we could do this. Now, I think toddlers can't play with it, but I think kids and adults can. So that does give us a family activity here in the backyard. We're still left with almost $1,900 to kind of start our Sims life with. And, you know, I don't think that this looks that bad for a family. Let me pull out here a little bit. A family starter kind of penthouse, right? I mean, I don't think so. Now, I did build it. So I'm a little bit biased, But I do think that it kind of checks all the boxes there. It's got everything we need. It fits within our starter budget for a family. And we have almost $2,000 left over to play around with as Sims just starting their lives. So I personally pretty much dig it. I do dig it. I've never tried doing a starter here for anybody as a penthouse. Now, here's the thing. I also want to do this for a single. Now, a single guy only gets $20,000. And basically what I think we're going to end up doing is pretty much creating a tiny house. Okay, now I've moved the family out, my old family. We're going to start rebuilding this for a single person. Somehow. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of some superfluous sort of items. My thought is this can go, of course. This can go. This can go. This can go. We'll get rid of that light fixture. Toy box. We only need one sofa. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Is this the cheapest refrigerator? It is. Is this the cheapest stove? It is. Okay, so we could swap out this cabinetry for a little bit cheaper. Might have to do that. Let's move this out here. I'm going to move our bed over here. And then we really don't need... Probably don't need that any longer. We can go ahead and take out this wall. Keep the plants. Keep a little bit of decor. We definitely don't need that doorway. Although it's nice, this place is not going to be big enough to justify 2 doorways. We'll adjust this just a little bit. We'll do like that. I really am going to need more of this to fill this in. We might do that here in a second. Let's see how much of this we actually have left when we're done. Because one of the things that costs so much money is walls. Just wall space. So really we can move this all the way in. Let's move it in like this. Like this. This is going to be a tiny, tiny house. Let's bring our bathroom like that. And since we're going with a tiny house vibe, you know what we're going to do? Our tiny penthouse. We're going to go ahead. Let me see here. Put that there. We'll put this here for privacy. We're going to get rid of the sink. Get rid of that sink. We'll move the mirror, I guess, out here. We'll still keep the mirror for now, but we'll move it out there. We're going to get rid of this wall. We really don't need that wall, right? We'll move our bed up to maybe right about there. Maybe even more. We might move the bed even more. Because of the size of this place, you know, I might have to either forego this door, or where else could we put it? Maybe over here maybe. Yeah, maybe right here. I don't know if I can get past the bed to get out that door, but I'll play test it before uploading it. So we'll see. We can put the couch, like a little sofa here. Let's bring all of this in. We're going to, you know what? Maybe we don't need the whole bathroom to be walled in. Do we? We can just take that out. Take out this and this and this. Let's see. Move this here. that like that. So this is, now we're starting to get down, right? Now we're starting to get down to where we need to be. Okay, so take a look here. Really, we can go ahead and we could pull this out here. Do it like that. We'll grab this over here. That way we can pull this wall in. We're going to give it a couple of windows. We're going to really brighten up that bathroom. Okay, let's see. Is there any place else that we can cut? I'm going to go ahead and move these plants because I don't... I don't want them to have trouble getting around the bed. Put that one there. I might not even use them. I guess I could put them outside. Now we have this now. I don't even know if I have room for that. Do I have room for that? Maybe over here. How much is this? I may have to, this may have to go. Let's take that out. Wonder how close I'm getting. Okay, let's see. If we put one light fixture here and one here, and maybe one in here, get rid of that. One thing we could also do, this would save us almost $100, is we go ahead and we just change, we change the half wall or the full wall to like the tallest half wall that we have available, like that. So that's going to gain us some money as well. And it's kind of a compromise between just getting rid of the wall. We want to maintain a little bit of privacy there. Although not really, this guy probably lives by himself or just one other person. And we've got windows like looking right out on the city. So, you know, we don't have a lot of privacy anyway, but we're going to maintain that illusion of privacy. Okay, now this shows that we are at $8,000 for this lot value. Okay, let me try something here. I was thinking we could maybe just line these up here, but it doesn't really look right with that over there, so I do want to keep these. Maybe we'll put this one out here somewhere. I don't know. I guess I could get rid of it. Could get rid of it. One thing, let me look up here. I might need to change kind of the... Well, maybe not. I think I might need to change all of this stuff, right? We've got all these massive roof lines. Let's pull back the roof a little bit. See how far back we need to go. See if we can pull this back. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. That does maintain kind of where we were with this particular kind of setup. And then let's go ahead and I'm going to adjust this roof, I think, a little bit because I'm going to move this particular thing out here, this bush. Move this bush out here. This one out here. And we'll put this here. And then we'll make this a little bit larger to create a sort of patio out here. I don't even know if we've got this down to enough money yet. I'm a little nervous. I'll have to wait and see. Now I can always get rid of the door. I could maybe try to get by with just one light. I could go with some cheaper books. Okay, let me have this here. Let me put this out here. We're going to decorate our front door area a little bit here. door out to our patio. I'm going to try to find these things and debug real quick, kind of seal in our yard. Okay, now that was super easy. Now, you know, one thing I really could get rid of is this. That is $450. And I really, really don't need it. Now it'd be fun if friends came over and stuff, but we can't afford friends. We are too poor. We are far too poor to afford friends. I also do think this looks a little odd in here. I think I'm going to move it in here into the bathroom. So we're still going to keep it in the bathroom and keep a little bit of realism, right? But we'll move it like that. Now we've got a plant. We've got one plant left. Do I want to try to put it somewhere? Maybe over here. Put it over there. Now, I'm going to go out and we're going to take a look at this from the world screen, see how much it costs. Let's see how much this costs just saving it. Okay, so saving it to the gallery says it still costs this much. I do think that this includes, for some reason, part of the lot cost, but we'll see. We'll see when we go out there. Can I make this a tiny home residential? I think I can. So right now, though, oh, you know what? Because of all this, it's saying that I have way, way, way too much like floor space. Even though, because that's just supposed to be grass. I'm just counting on this as like grass. This is our floor space, but it doesn't count because of that. Okay. So never mind. I thought maybe we could do tiny house residential and get some benefit there, but no such luck. So, okay, let's take a look on our world screen and see how much it's going to cost us. Okay, so according to our world screen here, it is $19,531. Okay, that leaves $450, a little more than $450 to start as a single sim with your very own penthouse in San Myshuno in the Arts District. Arts District, very up and coming, very now, very location, right? Totally, everything's happening there. So this is what you can get. Single person, Fountain View penthouse, right? Fountain View penthouse, $19,531. So we'd have $450 left, whoever buys it, to play around with. And actually a little bit more than that. If someone wanted to buy it, they could sell the computer, they could sell the books that are in there, and the mirror. They could sell the mirror and maybe have a little bit more money to play around with. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take Bird here. We're going to take our sim, Mr. Patrick Bird here. We're going to move him in. We're going to move him in and see how it goes. Okay, and here he is in his new home, $469 left. Can he get outside? Let's see if he can get past the bed. Shouldn't be any problem. It's not any problem. Off he goes. Let's see if he can use this computer here. Come on. There we go. Let's play our favorite game, Sims 4 ever. Here we go. I mean, everything should be fine. It looks good. I think can he get a book? See if he can read everybody's favorite Crisis Barn. So close that off. Okay, he's doing great. So shower's the last thing we'll try here. Let's try a steamy shower. So I think for a little tiny house, a little place to kind of have like a little tiny house here, I think this is working good. I really do think that this is fine. I think he's got a great looking penthouse. I kind of like the style of it. Very modern, very kind of trendy, kind of fun and playful with all the different colors on it. I'm really digging it. So whether you're a single sim or a family sim, family of 4, actually, and you could do a couple in here really easy as well. So you'd have a little bit more money. I think a couple starts with maybe 21 or 22,000, maybe something like that. So if you're starting with say another $1,000 or $2,000 as a couple, you've really got quite a bit of money there to play around with. Now, please hit like, subscribe, and notify. I don't know if I'm going to do a gentrified version of this or not. I might. The thing is, I've done so many gentrified versions of this particular land, penthouse. It'd be real easy just to grab something I've already done. But I might go through and do gentrified stage 2. This is stage 1, of course. Taking a lonely rooftop in the arts district and turning it into somebody's home. Somebody convinced the owner of this building just to sell them this empty rooftop, going to waste. No one's using it, and built their home up there, either as a single or a family. So, I might go through. What I might do is go through with each of the existing footprints, like this footprint and the existing footprint for the family one, and gentrify just those footprints and the exterior. So, we've got a nice exterior here. Maybe gentrify just that within the existing footprints that we have established. I'll probably do that for the gentrification stage 2 of this particular build, because that would work. I think that would kind of carry on the theme of first stage, second stage gentrification. So please hit like, subscribe, and notify so you don't miss that or anything else coming. What's after city living? Is that pets? Is that Brindleton Bay next? I need to look, see what's coming up next, what home we're going to tackle next as far as gentrification goes. I'm going to be honest, Brindleton Bay's housing, I don't remember real well what it was there, except it was all kind of like, New England-y, I think. Not really my biggest forte when it comes to building. And in fact, I've replaced a lot of the building there with my own builds. But we're going to find something, and we're going to gentrify it first stage and second stage. Like I said, in Brindleton Bay. I think Brindleton Bay is next. That's where we're headed next. So again, please hit like, subscribe, and notify. And until next time, thanks for watching.